Greetings and salutations, universe. Ow. This is Creeta, and this is Omnifactory. In the last episode, we went to the moon, and since then, I've brought back our fantastic rocket, and it's ready for when we're able to go somewhere else. It looks like we don't quite have capability of going anywhere else currently, but, you know, I just like looking at it, and this time we did put the seat on top. That seemed important. Alright, now in between episodes, I went to go craft some telepads. I meant to do that on camera, but whoopsies. They don't really look like the method that I want to use to get around. We can set up some, while having some paper, blah blah blah. We can go anywhere we want. But we first have to go there, so I don't know. It seems to me that the dislocators are just superior. We might play around with it a little bit in the future, but for right now, I really like this room, where it has all of the places we can go, like the End, Void, Pagoda, S'mores, etc. It seems to be working really well for us. And we can't quite get the Rod of Return. That requires the Soul Binder, along with this sector right here. So let's try and do the Microverse Projector. I've never done anything involving micro miners and whatnot, so I am very curious about that. One thing we do need to do is grab one of my many buckets of deuterium. Very good. That is going to help us complete a quest. Doodaloo. I don't like space. There are other methods of making deuterium. We can just centrifuge some hydrogen, 500 to 100, or just 10, and that takes 40 seconds at LV, or our moon dust method gets 100 millibuckets, and that takes 10 seconds. So this feels a lot faster, and eventually we'll have access to this lunar miner, which gives us 48 buckets, which is fantastic. Now, in between episodes, I did set up a automated microversium, which is this little nugget right here. This little fella just requires some deuterium, which we just got, an energetic blend, and steel whatever, either dust or ingots. And yeah, that seems to work really well. It's currently turned off because I have this set to power 4, which has us having about 2,000 ingots, which I think will have us in good shape for a little while. Let's go and take a look at what we need to craft to make the actual bucket. Now, I think we require these materials right here. HV input energy, the fluid input, apparently they wanted it to be MV, output HV, because we get so many different resources from this. If we take a look at this, this has 12 outputs, so it definitely requires that, and it does require 8 buckets of rocket fuel to make this work, along with this guy. So the next thing that we need to make is all of the subcomponents for this. So the projector casing, I might have already made that. Projector, there we go, casing. And then we want one vent and one projector. I think we can make that work. Micro vent. Doink. Do we just have everything? I would have really liked to have everything. All we need is an MV motor. Don't worry. We'll make 100 of those. Easy peasy. Everything is on stock. Doink. And there is our vent. And then we need the small projector. Lovely. Everything on hand for the most part. And the other thing that we needed for this was, I think it was like some ineffable glass or something like that. Ineffable? I don't know. Which needs a moonstone. Lunar reactive dust is just in a resonator, so I already crafted a little bit of that. We'll grab, I don't know, 8 of those seems okay. That's what we can craft, so that's what we'll do. And now what does it want? Thickened glass, which is some sandy glass. That seems slightly silly, especially because it really wants to use purple lately. I need to look into that. I don't know why it really wants to use that, but it does. That's okay. And this just needs to get cooked up. I have the our multi-smelter set hooked up to this storage crate right here, so anything that goes into here should flow out automatically and into our system over here. So now we should be able to craft this. Beautiful. And that should be the quest complete. Any moment now? No? Oh, we need a quantum coprocessor. Okay, whatever the heck that is. Quantum coprocessor. Compressor. Not a copressor. There we go. Beautiful. Quantum compressor. I don't know what that'll do, but that effectively allows us to make a small microverse projector. So let's take a quick peek at this. It's used for projecting microminers into the microverse to obtain stuff. Positions of buses can replace any microverse projector casings. It's very friendly. The minimum is the HV energy input. Future ones might require more power, yada yada. Cool. Oh, it gives me a whole Omni dollar. Sweet. Speaking of Omni dollars, I'm thinking that once we have a suit of armor that we really like, we might be able to use this airtight seal to enchant our armor, and then we won't have to change it whenever we go to the moon. That seems fantastic. Now, where to test this? Now, this will not be the final resting place of this. It's a temporary location. This is actually our second EBF room. This is our first one, and I just built a second one for future proofing. But for right now, this should do nicely. So we should be able to figure out what goes on with this. So everything looks okay. It looks like the quantum thingamabobber is on the inside, and then everything else pretty straightforward. Just sort of plop two of these, that guy right there, the quantum compressor right there, and I think I might want to break that and take a look again. Let me just put this all together, and you know, no, it should be okay. It should be okay. 4 glass, doink, 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 and doink. And then everything else, oh, where did the vent go? I'm sure the vent has to go on top, right? Aha. Can't fool me. Too smart. No. I get fooled all the time. Very silly. And the CEF can just plop right there. We'll have some power flow. That's not a good idea. That should be 4x. There we go. Now, this is uncovered, so we could get zapped quite easily if we're not too careful. Input bus, input, output. I feel like output should be on the right side, input on the left, and then we'll figure out a way to get some fluid in here. I bet we can probably just sort of tuck it right there, and the rest of it should just be these microverse chamber thingamabobbers. Doink, doink, doink. Lovely. I love multi-blocks like this, and when it just works the way you expect it to, that is even better. So this is going to take some rocket fuel, so we are going to need to snake in a little bit of stuff from the walls right here. Yoink. And that is where we want the stuff. So I'm going to have a fluix cable right here. We'll put a fluid guy right there and then be able to pump it in. I might even do it manually for the first amount. Yeah, we'll just pump it in. No big deal. And we'll have to figure out the rest. To make the microminer work, obviously we'll need a microminer. It seems that these are single use, so that's a little bit frustrating. But a lot of these things seem quite straightforward. Basic mining laser. This thing is just some sensors and some circuits, steel plate. Diesel generator's a little bit annoying, but I might have already set up the auto crafting for that, and I could probably even craft 2. So here is all the things that is going to go into crafting this bad boy, and we can take a peek at everything being completed right here. Right now it's working on a few wires. to make the fuel generators, and once those are done, everything seems to be going just swimmingly. So here is our 2 micro miners, and I think the other thing that we need is some quantum flux. Now we could do this with pulsating crystals or moon dust and diamonds. Both recipes seem okay. I'm going to go with this one just because we went to the moon and I want to use that moon dust. Might be a waste. We'll probably do it with the other one in the future. And then we can take a look and see that this has 2 options. I'm going to ignore this one for right now. It doesn't look like anything we want to do anytime soon. But everything does take rocket fuel. We can either do a gemstone seeker, which will get us exquisite diamonds. Oh, spooky sound. Or we could do this one, which gets us moon turf and a whole bunch of useful things like rutile. Basically everything I'm already mining for, but I don't know if I've ever found some dilithium, and it does give us salt. So I think I might just do both. I don't see why not. Yoink, what is required for the... Okay, we're not doing that one right now. Definitely doing the chest version. Quantum flux completed, along with the micro miner? Hey! So let's take a quick peek at those. Is there anything involved here? Nope, just required for the micro miner missions. So yeah, hey, look at that. You can also get some stellar creation data, but we don't want to yet, I think. So this is your first micro miner ever. Yes, not the last. Not the last. These things are not reusable. So let's give this thing a quick little test. We want to put in one of those, and one of those, and then it'll go into the space. It's progressing into the microverse. Maybe it'll meet Ant-Man or something like that. But in a moment, right after I had a drink of water, it looks like it should be completed. Thank you, editor. And there we go. We have all these resources. And now, even things like nickel will be a lot more obtainable. The only thing is, it will rely quite heavily, I believe, on our ability to process it. One thing in particular that I'm interested in is this dilithium. That looks like it's just ground up, and that's that. You can smelt it for 1 or grind it for 2. And then the iron, is there any need to do anything with the iron? Wasn't there some iron? Iron! Doink. Dense iron. Oh, there's more stuff here. It just didn't shift out very well. Okay, cool. What happens with this stuff? Chemical reactor gives us 16. Okay. But that just gives us nickel, and we have pretty much unlimited iron and tin. So we might even build with that. Why not, right? But we can take it to this location here for processing. Here we can see how we're doing on things like nickel. I think that's manganese? Yeah, manganese. This is basically me looking at what we need to keep up with our stainless steel production. But I think we're caught up completely, so we don't need very much. We do need a little bit more chrome. But otherwise, we're doing really well. I think the only thing I don't have stored is tantalum, and soon we'll need to find a place for dilithium. So we can toss that in, and then probably just make a spot for it. Ooh, that is a slow puppy. What's dilithium for? Dilithium crystals with deuterium. Oh, okay. And then that's going to be used for some hovercraft or in large microverse missions. All right. These things do get quite large, I see. And I imagine that takes a different multi-block as well. Oh, yeah, look at that big thing. Block of diamonds, and it has to be purple space? That's pretty funny. But yeah, we just need to find a home for this, and we'll be able to process all of this stuff in due time. We just put it in this here chest, and things like the rutile will disappear, and we'll see it popping up right here. And then it just flows through the system very elegantly. Okay, and there goes our second mission. But with that completed, I believe that this entire page, as far as we can do, is done. Claim all. Now this requires a soul binder, and this guy requires something fancy. Didn't it? Felt like it did. But regardless, I don't think we can even do anything with an ultimate thing. It needs to be crafted into a conflux, and this guy requires these osmiridium plates. So there's no point in really pursuing that, even though it's really pretty. It's a green, I like it, we can't do anything with it. Moving along. Let's actually shovel everything into our system. Lovely, thank you so much. Now, because we've completed this page, as far as we can do, we can now go on to the mid-game. Alright. Now this I've been waiting for quite some time, because we're going to be able to start getting Kanthal, which I really wanted for, I think it was some HV, which one is it? The stamper thingamabobber. We can make gears with it. Let's take a quick peek at whatever makes gears. It is the extruder. I've been trying to have all of my machines in this base be made out of HV materials, and that requires Kanthal. Kanthal to make the extruders and the alloy smelters. Right here, that requires Kanthal as well. And there's been a number of things which a extruder would have been really useful for, so if we go into this random location right here, we can probably make a rotor in a... bad example. We can make this gear, I'm even waiting for it right here. We can make a gear with the fluid solidifier system that we have right here, or we can make it with an extruder, and that will just make our systems a lot cleaner in my opinion. So I've been really wanting the extruders. Anyway, that's a bit of waffle. What we want to do is probably make a vacuum freezer and then see if we can move towards Kanthal. That's just my personal objective. We could start anywhere, really. Ooh, that's a whole lot of liquids. I might have actually done quite a bit of this. Fish oil. I don't think I did fish oil. I did put together some liquids, but we'll explore that later. I really want Kanthal. So this is going to require a vacuum freezer, and that is just a relatively simple block, vac. All we need is some frost-proof stuff. Can we get that stuff together, please? There we go. Frost-proof machine casings. We just needed to find the right frame, and that always frustrates me. This stuff will be able to turn into the vacuum freezer, and apparently also a cryogenic distillation tower. That's pretty nifty. Now I think a vacuum freezer is quite straightforward. It's all of our standard blocks. I hope that we can just do it with normal input and output stuff, but I'm sure things might get grumpy. And there we go. I think that this is pretty straightforward. We just have some output, input. These can be put anywhere. That's where I'm putting them for this guy. And we have our energy input and a hollow space on the inside. Everything else is these frost-proof machine casings. And it looks like we are set for freezing stuff. I'm so excited to have Kanthal, guys. I don't know how I can explain this. Now, once again, temporary location. We're definitely going to need to find a spot where we have it dedicated for Microverse stuff. From my understanding, this is all going to be very important moving forward. And the freezer we might even just put in the basement. Uh-oh, lag spike. Right down here. It's not a super critical thing, though it is very pretty, so maybe it will earn its own spot. Can we get here? Thank you. Now, I think we do need to cook it, right? So let's take a quick peek at the process for making Kanthal. We take the dust. Alright, first we get some dust. That's aluminum, iron, and chrome. We're very familiar with chrome. We're going to cook it into hot Kanthal ingots. Okay, doesn't take too long by the looks of it. And then it will go into the vacuum freezer. Cool. So we might want to even have a vacuum freezer hooked up directly to a machine or something of that nature. But I think we should be able to figure out a pretty quick and easy way just to sort of grab some of this real quick. And we're going to go over to a unused EBF. Where on earth am I? This is getting slightly ridiculous sometimes, but that's okay. So this guy is not being used, and we have some input buses right here. We can just toss this stuff in here, and in a little bit, after this has been progressing, we should have some hot Kanthal ingots. Now this is going to hurt my hand if I handle it myself, but that's okay. And we should be able to put it in here, and it's going to cool down the hot Kanthal ingots via vacuum freezing, and there we have our Kanthal ingots. Now we'll obviously automate this at some stage, but for right now, that is the quest complete. Whoa, that's exciting. And we'll be able to take that, and the thing I really do want the most is our extruders. So this is going to take some... There we go! 4x Kanthal wire. I'm always used to hitting the third one when I look up a machine, so that was a little bit scary, but it sorted itself out. Now where, oh where is a wire mill? Oh, it's right here. The last one I looked at. Now we're going to need a little bit more than that, because that's only 2. Thankfully we just demonstrated how easy it is to get, so it was no big deal to go get a little bit more, and we should be able to make our extruder. There we go, extruder. Oh, that is exciting. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, our HV extruder. So now we can keep working on that project, which I've been putting off for so long. We'll be able to put something right here, have a small gear little fella, and then we'll be automating all sorts of things that we weren't before, such as this gear, and oh, it's so exciting. Oh, I'm so very happy. Where's more that we can look at? I'm sure there's more. Hello? Like that guy. This doesn't have to be a fluid extractor. It could be an extruder. Very, very good. And with the completion of Kanthal, this will probably allow us to get Kanthal coil blocks in the next episode, which is going to allow us to advance towards tungsten and tungsten carbide, tungsten steel, that sort of thing. I kind of want to make a beeline down this line towards having the angel ring. That's just going to make me a lot happier. We won't have to wield that stuff all the time. Our flight suit, it is a fantastic suit, but if it can be a ring, why not, right? But yeah, now unfortunately, that is going to have to be the end of the episode. We got a lot done, and we can take a look at that if we go through this door. Maybe I should have just been doing this walk the whole time. It's hard to say, but yeah, I hope that you guys have enjoyed. Look at that. Ooh, it's even moving in the background. Look at the inside over here. Alright. This has been Creeta playing Omnifactory. I hope you've enjoyed. I most certainly have. Bye-bye!